Good morning and happy Friday. How is everybody doing today? It's almost Halloween, one of my favorite events of the year. This weekend, there'll be all kinds of Halloween parties. So I saw a Jim Carrey thing. Jim Carrey is a really interesting guy to look at and listen to his life story about his father dying when they were young and they were homeless for a period of time in their car. And that's what really inspired Jim to go take the risks that he did because his dad was incredibly talented and had desires of being a comedian and an entertainer, but he had a family. And so instead of pursuing his dreams, he went and pursued what was practical and out of his control. The business that he worked for disintegrated. And so he didn't follow his dreams and he wasn't able to produce the outcomes for his family that he left his dreams in order to do. So Carrie headed to Hollywood saying, what difference does it make? I'm going to go ahead and try and follow my dreams. And he had this innate belief in his abilities. And, if you watch Tiger Woods, if you watch Michael, if you watch, any of these people, and we talk about sports a lot because it's easier to see, right? We can talk about it in business and we can talk about it like with inventors, it makes sense. But sports and entertainment, it's easy to see because somebody says they're going to do the impossible and then they in fact go do it. So that's one of the reasons that we keep using that as examples. But Jim did it in the entertainment industry. And if you've ever heard the story, he wrote himself a check for $1 million and put a date on it. And he was basically penniless when he did it, but he signed the contract for the cable guy right before the date on that check and made $1 million. He actually put that check in his dad's casket to send it off with him. And he talks a lot about manifestation and how he really sees this and believes this before it becomes true. And when you see him give speeches at graduations or whatever, he talks a great deal about visualization and manifestation. Now, if you read the book The Secret, which I don't necessarily recommend, but if you read the book The Secret kind of gives you the idea that all you have to do is will it and it'll happen. And is that accurate? No. Can you have a great garden by simply willing that the great garden is going to exist? No. Can you take a bunch of seeds and throw them out in your yard and then come back in the fall and you're going to have all kinds of harvests to reap? Absolutely not. And Jim Carrey is never saying that when he talks about manifestation. He worked his butt off. Arnold Schwarzenegger worked his butt off. What they talk about is the belief. And why is the belief so important? Because thoughts are things. And our beliefs about things create the thoughts and the actions that we take. So if you have a belief that you're going to create a specific outcome, that belief is going to create specific thoughts about how am I going to make this happen? Because you've already decided that in fact you're going to make it happen. Because of those thoughts, you're going to take different actions. If you absolutely believe you're going to create the result, you're going to take risks. You're going to try certain things. And what's even more important is when those things don't necessarily work out, you're not going to look at that as failure. You're going to look at it as learning. Because you know that your belief system is that you're going to create this outcome. So you keep taking actions in order to create the outcome. Now look at the opposite. If your belief is it's not going to work, well, then what happens? Well, then your thoughts are all about how it's not going to work. And then you take a little bit of action instead of a lot of action. That little bit of action creates crappy results. Even if it's the right action, if it's only a little bit, it's going to create a crappy result. That crappy result is going to foster your belief that the outcome is not going to happen, and you're going to take even less action and get even worse results, and now you're in a downward spiral. That's why manifestation and thinking about controlling your mind first is so important. Because the more that we believe we're going to create these outcomes, the more actions that we take, the more action we take, the more outcomes we create, the more chance we have of creating the outcomes that we want, and it's a perpetual cycle upwards. Beliefs equal thoughts, thoughts equal actions, actions equal habits, habits equal destiny. So manifesting, if that's the language that resonates for you, is great as long as you understand that you don't just sit on the couch and manifest. That the manifesting is creating the belief, which is going to create certain thoughts, which is going to create much more action, which that's what creates the outcome, is the action. But without the belief, you're not going to take the action, or you won't take it as much, which is why the belief is so important, because then you're going to do more. At the end of the day, the people that generate the outcomes, especially in business, but even if you look in sports, the people that generate the outcomes are not always the most talented. In fact, most of the time, they're not the most talented. It's not the talent. It's not the location. It's not any of that stuff. That stuff all plays a role. It's all a factor, for sure. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be the best. The best is the one that takes the most action. The best is the one with the most desire to create the outcome. Why did humans make it so far as a species? We're poorly designed. We don't have super sharp teeth. We don't have super sharp claws. We're not super fast. Our bodies are designed to expose our organs and not protect our organs. We don't have shells. We don't have feathers. We can't fly. We don't have any poisonous anything. So why did we succeed so well? Why did we dominate the planet so well? Because we're smart and we're incredibly aggressive. As a species, we're unbelievably aggressive. And so we overpowered things. Go watch a honey badger take on a grizzly bear. There's no way that animal should be able to take on the thing that it's taking on, but yet it kicks the crap out of the grizzly bear. Is that because of ability, size, strength, sharper teeth? No, it's pure tenacity. It's so tenacious that the larger, much stronger animal just decides, I'm not going to jack with this thing. It's too much. Now, you don't have to be an overpowering nutball with regards to everything, but the point is the people that succeed do so because of their actions. And more often than not, the actions are positive. Think about how a kid gets the results that they want. If a kid wants a cookie and you say no, you just don't quite understand yet. And what do? They use humor to get you. They charm you. They make you laugh. They pull at your heartstrings. That's how they get you to get them the cookie or to get them whatever they want. I remember my daughter's an actress, and she was basically an actress when she was born. And I remember we went into Kmart back when we had Kmarts, and I don't know, she's 3 or 4 or something. And I told her before we went in, you're not getting anything. You're not getting anything at Kmart. We're here to buy something for mom, and you're not getting anything. So we go into Kmart, we walk by something that she loves, and she doesn't stop and whine or throw a fit because she knows that's not going to get her anywhere. That's not going to happen. So she just sees it and hints at it, and she walks by it again and walks by very slowly and kind of looks at me. I'm not buying it. So we're standing in line, so she stops and she grabs my hands and she looks up at me and she says, it was a Friday, and she goes, Dad, I have had a very bad day. And then she looks down, she looks back up, and she says, Dad, you can end my day with happiness or with sadness. Looks back down, looks back up. And Dad, I hope you choose to end my day with happiness. She's like 3. Do you think she left with the doll or whatever? Yeah, of course she did. Dad bought her the doll or whatever it was. She understood her outcome, and she took massive action, and it didn't work the first couple of times. She tried other things and it didn't work, but she figured out how to get the result. She didn't give up. Ultimate success formula. Thank you so much for hopping on, everybody. Great to see you. Anita, great to see you. Jacqueline, oh my goodness, it's so great to have you on. Beth, thank you, my dear. Deb, so great that Deanne is on this morning. And Anita says, wow. I know, Katie was hilarious right from the beginning. Thank you, everybody. I'm so honored when people pop on. I hope you get value. Please leave something in the chat. Topic you'd like me to talk about, a comment with regards to today's talk, whatever you can think of. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.